And welcome back to Vancouver for the quarterfinals of the Pacific Coast Open, live from the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club. My name is Bill Curry. I'm here with Shane O'Flaherty, and we have a really good quarterfinal matchup here on Rink 5 for you this morning. We have Alberta's Pat Bird up against Rainbow Lung from Richmond, BC. And they're in the middle of their trial ends, and we will have the start of this exciting matchup for you in a moment after a few words from our sponsors.
The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by the Matheson Family Foundation, a registered charity organization. Having donated more than $1 million to more than 250 charities and organizations, it's all about giving back to the community. The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by World Financial Group. Let Derek Gann and Rachel Wong help build your wealth strategy. Your life insurance and financial service professionals.
The Pacific Coast Open is funded in part by a Vancouver Community Sports Hosting Grant from the City of Vancouver and the Vancouver Board of Parks and Recreation. The Pacific Coast Open is funded in part by a hosting grant from Via Sport BC and the province of British Columbia.
find the gap there. Somehow she's just been thrown and take anything.
Bird just laying it up just in front.
Rainbow changes hand to that one got in her way.
And she nudges the jack just towards her own bowl. Very nicely done.
Yeah, good adjustment for Drayton. Both to down the hand and get the result out of that. 1 minute.
That Bird's final shot here of the third end of the first set.
Very close.
Very.
He just about hit it, not that shot bowl back. He was probably going to be spent through.
Rainbow going up to have a quick look at the head. Looks like she's holding that first point with the purple bowl right behind the jack.
I should just look to come to on the backhand side again and just put another one in there. It's a reasonably safe side for it to come in on.
Yeah, as yeah, long as you hit that, as long as you come in, and if you do manage to touch that jack on the inside, it probably won't do you any harm. And she'll come out around the outside, and looks like she will settle for the single point there.
And exposure with the end, it gives you the opportunity to get the mat length where you want it, get yourself back in the game. So 4-1, it's only 3 ends, and there's plenty of bowls to be played.
And this is the first of 3 matches that we will be bringing your way here on YouTube. We have the semifinal of this tournament coming up at about roughly 1:15, 1:30, depending on how the players move things along today. And then we will also have, of course, the championship final of the Bruce Matheson Open Singles coming your way roughly around 3:15, 3:30 this afternoon. And so if you love high quality bowls, you have come to the right place.
Whoever makes that final, it's going to be stunning because you've got to be in great form to make the final. So it's going to be a great match no matter what.
Rainbow Lung going long with the jack here now that she's on the board. Yeah. I mean, these are, Shane, these are two bowlers where, you always talk about, well, maybe you change the length and maybe put them a little bit off balance. But Pat Bird and Rainbow Lung, I don't think that's going to be the case today.
It doesn't matter what length you go with these players. They've been there, done that. They won't be too worried about it. But you never know. You always try to get in your opponent's head, but you don't get to the finals of an event like this without just being mentally strong and incredibly capable.
And that is easily the case with not just with these two bowlers, but the entire field remaining in this tournament.
Yeah, so speaking of which, let's have a quick run around the greens in the quarterfinals. So currently, Right for our commentary position here. Serena Matthews playing Jerome early. After 2 ends, Serena's leading 2-1. In the centre ring here, ring number 2, we have a Stanley Park battle. Aiken versus Will Hall. Jason's not anything of a super. Currently, well, actually, it is 2-2 after 3 ends. And then our other match was dictated on China. And China's leading 2-1 after 2 ends. So all tight matches.
And Will Hall, the defending champion, and tough against Jim Aiken. But Will is one of the, I think, yeah, I don't know if he's the only player, but would certainly be one of the few players to come out of that first round with a perfect 4 wins. But those 4 wins did not come easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yes, I think Serena and Joanna also had the 4 wins. Everybody else came in with 3 wins. So it's interesting here, like Rainbow's holding at least the mark.
And if you have a look, I think from our angle anyway, it looks like that purple bowl in front may have just be ahead by a nose here.
I have to say, from our commentary position, it looks the opposite. It looks as if it's slightly ahead by Will.
It will all come out in the measure at the end, if those two bowls are even standing at that point. And that bird doing a job covering the back, although once again, even Rainbow Lung owns the tee.
Just a little narrow on this one. There's plenty of draw room there for Pat, but I guess he's also got the 2 best back bowls, so there's that little temptation to try and run it into the ditch.
Bit of traffic in order to do that with Rainbow Lung's back bowl by the tee as well.
There's
Yeah.
definitely risk involved there. Like I think the draw is the practical sort of shot.
Bird with a 3-point lead here as he gets ready to deliver the final bowl of the fourth end.
Looks like he's playing it with just a little bit like here.
Oh, and it misses altogether. So Rainbow Lung will pull at least one back here, and we'll see if that second purple bowl up front scores as well. So
They call it the umpires to they come out and measure that one. It's sort of leaning on each other, unless it's obvious to them. It certainly looks close from both our vantage points here.
so Pat will get down and measure first here. And you know, one of the things that I really like, Pat Bird, of course, is a competitor who has won many titles and has represented Canada, as well. But on the greens, um, great sportsman, always enthusiastic, always happy to be out there, always supportive of the players around them as well. So, it's like I was telling someone if you want to be elite and one of the good guys in this game, look at Pat Bird.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. He's been there, done everything, and I think he's sort of back in the mix again with Team Canada, and yeah, he just keeps on winning at nationals, just keeps on performing well. So he's just sort of like the epitome of the class act. So after a slow start, Rainbow's managed to get herself back into business, back to just one shot difference, 4-3 to Pat, to Foreens.
Yeah. And not a surprise, really. You get the indication when you saw this matchup on paper that certainly nothing was going to come easy.
Yeah, Rainbow's just sort of like, she can be pretty merciless. Like she just keeps on coming. There's nothing that really sort of gets to her. She just, has that superb draw game, and she'll just, whatever you do, she'll just come back and keep on drawing to that game.
And Pat Bird's bowl looked to be shot until it took that flop at the end away from the jack. Perhaps creating some question there.
Start to back up.
So, Rainbow Lung. We were in the fifth end of the first set here in the quarterfinal of the Bruce Matheson Open Singles as Rainbow Lung settles behind the jack.
Not sure. Maybe almost never in that leading shot, but couldn't be any one of those two of Rainbows and one of Taz.
And Pat Bird adding to this, that may be shot. Yeah.
It's right that Rainbow's thing leaves she can draw in, and she's a little heavy. She might end up sitting on that. So options for her here.
Still two bowls left in this end from the players.
Just underneath.
And rolls out of contention. So Pat Bird here with maybe an opportunity to add to his total here. He looks like he's holding the one. Lots of danger if that jack gets tapped, of course, towards that purple cluster. But
I know, I think let it cut in a little bit of a wide edge or just let it do its way to cut. She's not looking overly pleased with that running out of the get go.
and that is indeed the case. So we'll see how the measurements go here. I mean, once again we favor that Pat Bird bowl, the blue bowl, just off to the top left side of the jack, and the question then becomes whether they apparently they had no trouble whatsoever up front telling the difference,
Rainbow quarters straight over
and it is indeed a two for Pat Bird here. It's he builds up a pretty big 6-3 lead here after five ends.
That's that's a big break with only two ends to go. So it's work for Rainbow to get us off back in this team.
And they'll be playing a shorter jack here in the sixth end. Pat Bird's going to have a walk out there to see if the jack went the requisite distance. And it was determined that it came up short. And so another break here as Rainbow now will set the length.
Good thing here at AB because we have the dots on the green, so you can always easily tell whether it's short or not.
And Pat Bird will send an exact opposite jack from what was previously thrown and will land about roughly 6 inches above the tee line.
It's one of the truths about bowling is no matter whether you favour the length that the person's tried to throw, if you get the chance to rethrow the jack, you always go complete opposite to what they've done.
And that's a lovely draw from Pat Bird.
Like we were saying earlier, that these guys aren't bothered by any length changes, and so he's just as happy with that long one as he would have been with his short jack.
And Rainbow almost comes in on that bowl, but just a hair short. But certainly you saw the intent.
Good second ball, but gives her freedom to maybe have a little bit of a nudge effect. Shot one of the cast, and does here.
Once again, lots of bowls to be played here today with the semifinal and the final this afternoon. If you happen to be in the Vancouver area, you can certainly join us down here at Clancy Loringer Way at the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club for the semifinal and the finals this afternoon.
And the bill is available for autographs if anyone's after here. And we'll take gifts of any kind.
Well, they certainly feed you here.
Yes, I'm concerned about that. It's lucky that both of us still have our spelt waif-like figures, so you
Yes.
don't have to worry about.
Yes, we have a lovely kitchen here where the volunteers have been serving us great sandwiches and even Hainan chicken rice, which was quite legit, I must say.
I enjoyed that greatly yesterday. It made me very happy. So there are other quarterfinals. It's an identical scoreline for the quarterfinal. Will is leading Jim and 4-2. And Div is leading Barry 3-2.
Final bowl of the sixth then for Pat Bird. Currently holding one. And no change, but sets up a fairly important bowl here for Rainbow Lung here because she's trailing by 3 and is in danger of going down 4 here, going into the final end of this set. Pulls up short, so that is 1 to Pat Bird, and that will open up a 4-point deficit, which means Rainbow has to be absolutely perfect in the final end in order to earn a draw, and that's a tall order in this match.
Against many bowlers, you wouldn't necessarily not back Rainbow to make a 4 and then come back into it. But against Pat Bird, that's a different thing altogether. So just measuring up for that second shot.
The second shot would end the set.
Just the one.
Yep, just the one.
So in our knockout matches this morning, Dick Tang won the battle against Derek Long in straight sets. Very tight battle there. I think actually they split the first set and Dick won the second set. Jerome Kirby was just impeccable against Josephine Lee and won that straight sets very comfortably. And now other match off Jamaicans playing Brent Henderson and gee, they played some good balls. That was a fantastic match, and Brent was very unlucky to go down in that one. But Jim's Jim's a real pro, and he just what he had to do to get there. Good match.
And we do have our short jack here.
Rico has to make every ball count here. It's a good start.
And that is a great shot from Pat Bird just to secure that position and also, make the four nearly impossible.
Yeah, so Redwood just has to sort of keep on getting balls in the head and then possibly with the last ball try and dislodge that one. Unfortunately, this one's just way too big. And the chance of the four is pretty much gone.
Of course, it will be a clean slate heading into the second set. Lots of opportunity for Rainbow Lung to come back in this match.
Yeah, I think she came back nicely from that lead that Pat had. So just treat this in now as a chance to practice getting the shots out of this length. Let's do the next set.
And Lung manages, well, to at least knock him off the jack, but not so much on the count, on the point count right now. Pat's going to have a walk and just look at his position right now, just to see if there's any risk whatsoever. And that will just cover the back. Rainbow Lung wasting no time with her final bowl.
Both very quick on the net, aren't they? Just get on with it, which is great.
and makes the end academic as Pat Bird looks to capture at least one here. Point differential not so important right now as that wraps up the first set of this match. Pat Bird with a quite comfortable win here. I believe they agreed on one, so it would be 8-3 here in the first set. And now we head off to the second set, and Rainbow Lung needs to come out on top in order to continue this quarterfinal and send it to extra ends.
Which obviously we'd love to see. It's always good to see the matches go all the way. In the other quarterfinals, Jerome's won reverse set against Serena. So there's a little bit of, as much as you don't want to go to those knockout matches before quarterfinals, it does give you a chance to build up some momentum from your first match. So hopefully Serena can get back into that one in the second set.
Uh,
He's also won his first set against Jim Morgan.
Will Hall making so far pretty definitive statement in defending his Pacific Coast title, unbeaten throughout, and taking his first set here in the quarterfinal.
Jim is such a competitor that any time you pick up a set against Jim, you have to work for it. So, but he just loves these screens here. We open head here in our feature match. It's like Rainbow's sort of sitting the shot at the moment, but you'd expect it to get some shots in close at that one too.
And that's a lovely draw.
And thank you to Rainbow for not proving me wrong. So the other semi-final, that one with 5 ends between Joey and Cooper.
Bird cutting Rainbow down to 1 point by the looks of that. Oh, and that's class from Rainbow Lung.
Absolutely lovely.
And Pat obviously still has the open draw here, but will have to be quite precise in order to beat out Rainbow for shot.
He's going to be tempted to have a little bit of a go at it or not. Just to draw.
And it'll pull up just short. So, opportunity for Rainbow here to maybe once again come in on the draw. She's been successful on that forehand side.
I think this is a classic case case where, Pat's got that one ball just in front there, so Rainbow's probably just going to come in a little wider on that same hand. And if it comes in, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. You just don't want to risk nudging into that front ball.
Uh, Also, an opportunity to take three in this match would be a pretty significant start.
Trying hard here.
This is looking good, and she's did it, I think. She may have done it here.
Absolutely. Rainbow first in. That's a great way to start that second set.
So, Rainbow Lung making quite a statement here in the first end of this second set, and no one's going home quietly here.
Yeah, I said the Rainbow's not the kind of bowler who has any give up with her at all. She'll just keep on coming at you no matter what the score is. She'll just want to sort of, just keep winning ends, just keep building up that lead.
Calgary's Pat Bird with his first bowl of the second end here in the second set.
Nicely. So thin out there, so that it makes it less vulnerable to sitting down. So he'll be happy enough with that. Rainbow trying to get him.
Yeah, Rainbow's starting to really find a rhythm on the draw game.
Once she's in that rhythm, she is just deadly with her accuracy. But so's Pat. Little nudge on his front bowl, but I think it's from our vantage point here, it's looking like a shot to Rainbow. So Zoe's having a lot.
Yeah, and Rainbow has the shot according to the marker.
So plenty of room here for Pat to draw. Like a draw down to the jack and draw down to the shot bowl.
At joining Rainbow Lung at the back More strategic than anything else. Rainbow, oh, nudges her own bowl just a bit closer.
Uh, felt a little risky there for a second, but it was a kind, gentle touch there. It did a little closer and a little better spot.
Pat might have on his last bowl. Pat might have an idea of maybe moving that purple bowl out of there because that would be one way to get his three back.
I think that's definitely the shot he'll be looking for. Just doesn't need to be heavy, just a slightly overweight draw.
Got a fair amount of weight on this. Oh, he nudges his own bowl in, and he may have done it here. That is close.
While we're looking at this, I think round out the greens, Jerome was one set up and 2-0 up after one end of the second set. Exactly the same scenario with Will, one set and 2-0 up after one end. And in the other quarterfinal, Joanna managed to come through and win that first set. And just playing the first end of the second set there, Joanna Cooper and Ding Tang.
The point went to Rainbow Lung, so she has built up now a 4-0 lead here after two ends. And really, the players there, although it looked close, the players had no question whatsoever as to who was holding at the end of that. So Pat Bird made the shot, but didn't quite get the result he was hoping for.
So we're having the sort of reverse at the start of the first set. It was 4-0 up after two ends last set, and Rainbow's doing the same to him in this set. And a good start with Rainbow. The two shots in the head. What Rainbow can do with this shot.
And Bird with the jack high draw and holding.
At least one shot for game.
We are in the third end of the second set. Rainbow Lung needing a win in this set in order to force extra ends. That nudges Pat's shot bowl a little bit closer to the jack, but also took the second shot out of contention.
So it's still a useful bowl. I didn't quite get the result she wanted.
Players have the advantage right now of being the only match on this green here in the quarterfinals. Um, Besides the fact that they not that it's much of an issue for these players, but they successfully avoid having a rink with the side ditch. The players also have the luxury of being able to walk on to the other greens in order to get more depth perception and an idea of the angles.
Just a deep here from head, a little bit of cover, I guess. Thought that was on purpose or otherwise, but no, having a look at trying to work out what's best for us, we'll try and we'll go with big. Oh wow.
Yeah. As we're only in the third end, I mean, there's an opportunity here, just for Pat to maybe grab a point, get on the board here, and lots of time to make up that 4 point deficit, even against a skilled player like Rainbow. Rainbow laying up here, and right now that blue bowl of Pat Bird is all it's standing in the way of a big end at the moment. So it's that for Pat that it kind of has to hold the fort.
Yeah, yeah. Right, because you stuck to 4, so it's just got an open draw sort of here to add to his count.
There is the chance to pick up that second point, but you wonder how much. And a couple of bowls actually to rest up against if he came in on that side.
Yeah, I think looks as though looking which side he's coming down. Yeah, it looks like he's weighing the backhand.
It's coming down the backhand side. And quite the line he wanted, but in the end, he will come out with the single point by the looks of things.
Gets the mat back and wants to play whatever leg he likes. And will now try and sort of build up a few ends in a row to try and cut down that lead and possibly get back on an even keel.
3 ends in the books here in this second set. Rainbow Lung with a 4-1 lead.
Have a match and say 3-0 lead in the second set after balls and Melbourne 3-0 after 2 ends. Both of the last gentlemen on the first set. Well, I was looking like Joanne has got a 3-0 lead after 1 end in the second set after taking the first set.
Pat Bird with pretty perfect back bowl there. And a yard and some change short on Rainbow's first bowl.
Just needs to make that adjustment and sort of get it hold of the head and make it difficult for Pat.
and almost identical from Pat on his second shot. Rainbow coming in, and that is likely shot at this time.
Certainly, it's very rare for a coach ball two bad balls in a row. So most makes shine the shot there.
It's third ball. Once again, I mean, he has a pretty solid wall of three in the back at the moment. None appear to be counting it, however, but opens up some opportunity for his final shot.
Yeah, depending on what happens here with Rainbow's third ball, might be a decision there at the end.
Rainbow looking to get behind the jack, and she does. That's clearly shot now. So Pat not only with an opportunity here to close the deficit, but needs to avoid Rainbow opening up this set with a big end here.
Yes, the decision for Pat is to Rebel just to play the fair again and try and adjust that length of wire where he maybe has a go at the jack and tries to send it across to his bowls.
This will be an interesting call from Pat Bird here. He's coming in with weight. And too narrow. So Rainbow here with a very big opportunity here. Possibly holding two at the moment, or at least one in a measure from our vantage point. But opportunity to drop three on Pat Bird here in the fourth.
She'll just keep on doing what she's doing, just sends it down to the same zone again and see what she can do.
And this is looking pretty good right now. And that could be a big end for Rainbow Lung there.
So he thinks it's a three confirmed.
And Rainbow has come back in this second set with a clear statement. And the prospect of those extra ends are going to loom here.
She's just done it in a very sort of gentle, subtle kind of way. She's just keeps on coming at you. She keeps on with the consistent bowls. And you've got to do your work to make sure that she doesn't take up the count on you. Bowl from Rainbow on that first bowl, but would expect it to correct with the second bowl.
With three ends remaining to sort of try and climb back into the set here. And it's not like the way Pat has bowled today, that certain shots haven't worked for him. He's bowled extremely well. It's just that Rainbow has just been a touch better in this end, in this set.
Really nicely again. Oh, really? What?
Yeah. And that's that rhythm and consistency that you were talking about there, Shane.
Really experienced bowling batters like this. When don't hit shot clubs, don't flip. Let's just do what he needs to do. Solid shot from back. So Rainbow will be looking to have number one and maybe she gets pick up a two on this end. That makes it nearly impossible.
And Rainbow again. This time holding two.
I think that's toying with the idea of playing some weight, but maybe an extra pull of it. So, Rainbow's holding this back. Down she goes. I think that was a little bit of an in-between shot there from Japan. I think he was thinking about weighted and played that in-between weight, which is really difficult to find these artificial indoor greens. And look at this.
Ah, fabulous from Rainbow.
I think I'm going to have to give Rainbow a yellow card on this though. I think that's just showing it. It's just too impressive.
And with the count here, there's still one more bowl for Pat to play here. But having a look, you're now at the point where you start to do the math, and if Rainbow can hang on to these 3 points, that will end the set and send us directly into those extra ends.
Yep, even with my cursory math, 10 minus 1 equals 9, and I don't think we do any bonus point shots here. There could be something for the future. Pat's fighting with himself here. There's the shot he wants to play, which is probably the weighted shot, but then he's thinking maybe I just draw. It looks like it's going to be the weighted shot, so probably right up there.
And that is indeed what he's trying here. Lots of weight, lots of power. Get out of the way. Moves the bowls, but looks to maybe cut down to two. We will see what the count is as the players have a look.
Tough to see on that third shot, but definitely definitely two for Rainbow, so that would at least be lead at 9-1. Maybe have a look for the third. It may be a bit more obvious to them in the league.
So two for sure. And now this measurement here, will determine if this set continues.
Meanwhile, in front of us, it's all over between Jerome and Serena. Jerome is won in straight sets. He was upset, so that it's like you got to count on the fifth end here.
Didn't see what they put up on the board here. We're just going to have a look. It looks that it was just the two. So that means that we will continue on with the sixth end of this second set.
So that just needs two perfect ends here. No problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
piece of cake. If he was playing me.
Let's do it. I'm pretty sure that Rainbow's not going to let you or I have it in sub for her, unfortunately. We would, at the very least, be very entertaining.
Yes.
And the other important finals of the Philippines, like I said, Jerome is through to the semis. Will is leading 5-1 after 5 innings against Jamaican. Joanna is leading 4-1. I can't quite see the winnings there, but 3 innings. 4-1 after 3 innings. Joanna and Will and Jonathan both leading in the second set and both won their first sets.
And a nice delivery from Pat Bird.
See if Rainbow does. She's done on every other end of the set and then make that correction on her second bowl. So, the same level of correction virtually for them. It would be fun if Kat was able to pick up a 4 on the cylinder and make it an interesting final end. Still a chance.
And Rainbow keeping her form here with the draw for shot.
And so Kat goes to the other, has to move the jack or move that ball. Forehand, left-hander.
This is quite something. That's a nice show from Pat Bird.
He's holding at least a possibility of 3.
And and even so, if we talk, of course, about the fantasy of the perfect end here, but for Pat though, it is an opportunity here to regain some of that form he showed early on, as we prepare for the extra ends.
And Rainbow doing rainbow things and just sending people right into the mix there.
Pat's going to have a look here to see what his route to 4 is, as he has the possibility here.
You know, sort of, if he can just come inside, centers bowl inside that last bowl of rainbows, get another little nudge on the jack, he could end up, he doesn't want to move it too far, that if he moves it far enough, that could still be his score.
It just speaks volumes though that he has created the opportunity to do this.
That was, again, years of experience and just tons of ability.
And final bowl of the sixth end here for Pat Bird. It just nudges in there, just nudges the top bowl, but that was en route.
Exactly what he needed to do. But
So they're gonna wedge Rainbow's bowl as they take care of the count there.
not going to pay as much.
Yeah.
It's into the tiebreaker now. Machine.
And they'll just wait for Pat to come down just to confirm the count. Of course, this will be this is almost certainly the last end of this set, and we are going into extra ends here. And the question is Pat holding here and takes maybe an extra point or two here? It's academic though.
Well, it's good to have something academic here. It's raising the intellectual sort of the coverage.
And they head straight in. You know, it. We don't know who won that. We don't know who won that final end, but we do know that we are off to extra ends here at the Pacific Coast Open quarterfinal, and you know, gotta say, everybody saw this one coming.
Yeah, and it was all, so often this happens in these matches where one player dominates in the first set and the other player dominates in the second set. And it's a chance to reset and quite often the player who's been dominating the second set just resets, comes out and gets right back into it in the tiebreak final.
Pat electing to move the mat quite high, and the jack will go all the way to the tee. So interesting change of length to start this first extra end.
I think in our other quarterfinals, I think Jamaican just picked up a four last end. It's now tied 5-all Will going into final end of the second set. Jim wins that. That'll be going to a tiebreaker as well. If Will wins it, then it's all over.
And Bird with his toucher, perfect draw.
Well, it's the ideal way to start a tiebreaker first end. In our other quarterfinal, Joanna won the first set and she's leading 4-3 against Dick in the second set. So Dick finding hard there, trying to sort of force that one into a tiebreaker as well. This is set up really interestingly with a nice first ball there from Rainbow. Head holding shot, but it's open for things to change.
And Pat's draw coming into the back.
It was just inches from sitting on that roll of Rainbows, creating a more wall.
The first player to win two ends will advance to the semifinal. And Pat, after only a second bowl, has asked permission to come have a look at the head. Of course, marker would give that, and especially a situation like this.
Unless the marker was me, I'd just say no. Go back. Yeah, I mean, I certainly have seen times when the marker said no when it's completely open head and there's no reason,
Mm-hmm.
but very, very rare. Like in one of our earlier matches, we had one of the most interesting questions I've ever heard a marker ask when Jerome asked Judy, who was the marker, what direction the jack would go if he was to hit the shot ball straight on. And Judy was very polite. She gave him the answer. My suggestion was that if I had been marker, I would have told him backwards.
It is a prerequisite now for markers to know physics.
And so it should be. Prerequisite for everything. Just a little short there from Pat. Where he was trying to annoy us.
Some weight from Rainbow, and yeah, removes that top bowl. Well, it gets it out of the way at least for Rainbow's final shot of this extra end.
So I think if she hadn't have hit that, she would have ended up on her own bowl, not badly of contention.
So does Pat's going to have a look at the head, but having a look here, as to what Pat may do. Um, how do you defend this point?
I think first thing he's going to want to do is he's just going to want to come and sit on top of Rainbow's bowl and just put something in that and push his bowl in behind. That gives him some coverage, and he's already got the best back. So yeah, I think just a little bit of extra coverage there for himself. And then basically lay down the challenge to Rainbow.
So Pat Bird with his final shot of this first extra end.
And in the battle of the Stanley Park Bowl is gone to a tiebreaker. Jim picked up that last end. Meanwhile, Joanna has pushed out to a 6-3 lead next day.
And that is exactly Pat just did exactly what you called right there. Just lays up right on that purple bowl.
I think he probably wanted to be just a slight little bit heavier just to get in behind, because he's giving a little bit of a shoulder now for Rainbow to aim at, and if she she can either draw through the middle of those and get onto the shot bowl, or she can sit on that back one and try and get a nudge in.
First extra end hangs on this shot. Lots of weight, and it goes through the head, and Pat Bird appears to have captured the first extra end.
It's always it's a rough thing on these sort of fast outdoor greens. Unless you're absolutely perfect with your line, as soon as you start playing a little bit of weight, it's really tough to make that bowl cut back.
So Pat is now one end away from securing his ticket to the semifinal. Pat once again electing to move the mat forward and head deep. Same length if that jack hangs on, and it does.
Print out.
And even in extra ends here, with so much on the line, Pat and Rainbow share a bit of friendly banter and lots of smiles.
I think it's the good thing about bowls at any level is, you know, 99% of the folk that you play against can have that sort of, you can have a bit of actual sort of banter as well, but it's all in good spirits. And it's just a lovely stuff. And
Pat Bird has certainly found his form here in these extra ends. Look at Rainbow here, almost matching him, little short.
just a foot and a half or so short there, but it's coming in on the near perfect line. It's a pretty good covering spot there from Pat, and could be in a good receiving spot if Rainbow manages to manage that shot well.
Rainbow coming through the back, but misses the bowl and goes too far.
Yeah, so smart balls would be here. You don't want to give Rainbow a target line, go straight at with their left shot.
Rainbow bowling quite quickly here after the bowl comes to a rest. Pat having a quick look, he's got that jack completely covered.
So Pat has stopped the millisecond before Rainbow released his.
Rainbow's in a difficult spot here in this second extra end. Only one bowl remaining, and the jack is right here, right behind Pat Bird's blue bowl, and it's in a very, very tough spot to attack, especially with no bowls in the back.
Direct attack is just going to send it into the ditch, and it's probably going to head across to where Pat is back was there. It's very hard to draw onto it because of her shirt bowl there.
And on top of it, Pat still has one more bowl for this end to build an even bigger defensive position.
It's a matter of whether he's going to put another one in the back or
Mm.
whether he's just going to try and throw something in her way in the front. It's gone for the very short bow approach.
Yeah. So short, it's not even in range of our cameras. I- In fact, it's maybe a few yards, just maybe 2 or 3 yards beyond the hog line.
It's just purely there to create a visual distraction.
Rainbow Lung needs something very special here on her final bowl in this extra end.
Going to come in from there.
It's not going to come in, unfortunately, and that will end the match. Fine match between Pat Bird and Rainbow Lung, and it will be Pat Bird securing his spot in the Pacific Coast Open Bruce Matheson Open Singles semifinal coming up in roughly, I'd say 20 minutes or so.
Just superb volley there from Peck, and so often in that, after a player's dominated the second set, so often the other player just comes back into it again, and he was superb. And in our other quarterfinals, Joanna's leading Dick 6-4. They're on the final end, so Dick needs to get a count here to try and take it to the tiebreaker, and Jamaican's just taking that first end of the tiebreaker against Will Paul, and so that's going to be interesting to see who gets through to these semis. They're all good players. It's going to be a great one, no matter.
And we will return shortly with semifinal coverage of the Pacific Coast Open. And so we want to thank you for joining us. You'll need to sign out of this YouTube live stream. You'll need to log out of this YouTube live stream before you can join us in the semifinals. So just look for the link. The link is up at the moment. So that'll do it for us from this match. For Shane O'Flaherty, I'm Bill Curry. Thanks for joining us today, and we will have more championship action for you from the Pacific Coast Open very soon.